Which of the following is non-island of Gulf? So that is Bahrain. So Bahrain is here. It is an island of Pulse, extensive group of 33 islands of Persian Gulf, and that is in Persian Gulf. As a East Saudi Arabia, it is known in East Saudi Arabia known as a rich source of pearls. It is also known the leisure activities such as pearl driving and horse riding. Now, which is the following is the first port that are developed the independence Gujarat? That is the Kandla port, and that is the first port that is after the independence of the Gujarat. So Kandla port was developed in the Gujarat state known as the Deen Dayal port. It is situated at the Gandhi Dam, and it is one of the major port on the northwestern coast of the Gulf of Kutch. Now, Lake Palace built Maharana Jagat Singh, that was in Udaipur. So, Lake Palace was in Udaipur and it was 1746. It is located island of Jagnivas and Lake Pichola, and now hotel having 83 rooms. Which is the following first global telecom city? That is Bengaluru. So, investment in this sector has been by the various players, and it 73 meter. Which of the following world tallest rubble masonry minaret? So that is Qutub Minar. It is a minaret, and that is rubble minaret. Next one is solution on giving. So Qutub Minar in the Delhi and 73 meter. Sri Rangaswamy temple, that is in the Tamil Nadu, and that was 67 meter. Leaning Tower, it is in Pisa, Italy, 55. Big Ben clock, that was in London, and that is about 96 meter. Is basically of cast iron structure, and that was the Big Ben clock tower. Big Ben clock tower. Which of the following is the first India's research center Antarctica? That is Dakshin Gangotri. It is Dakshin Gangotri. Dakshin Gangotri. So that is India's first Antarctica research. Bharati, Maitri, Dakshin Gangotri are the research center. Antarctica lies completely in the southern hemisphere and it is permanently covered by sheet. So that is the Amundsen Scott. South Pole is United States. Aktovsky is the Poland. RT guess that was Uruguay, and the Davis that is Australia, and the Zhongshan that was the China. These are the research stations. So Amundsen Scott, South Pole, that is United States. Arkotowski, that is in Poland. Artigas, that is Uruguay, and the Davis, that is Australia, and the Zhongshan, that was China. Which of the Odisha historically associated sweet called the Rasgulla? That was the Puri Jagannath temple, and this is known as a GI tag. This is known as a GI tag. So Puri Jagannath temple, Odisha, and that was known as the state of Odisha. One of the Char Dham sacred Hindu, the other being the Badrinath, Dwarka, Varameshwaram. Ganga dynasty king Anantavarman Chandra Ganga was 12th century. Jagannath is the Balabhadra and the Subhadra are the deity. They are the deities Subhadra, Jagannath, and the Subhadra and the Balabhadra, and that are the Rath Yatra, famous annual Rath Yatra or the chariot festival, and there are a chariot festival, and this is pulled on the huge and elaborately decorated temple that is Lord Jagannath made. Other three are the Badrinath, Dwarka, and Lord Jagannath made the wood and is ceremonially replaced by the 19th year. The popular rock cut sculpture, the descent of the Ganga, is known as that was the Mahabalipuram. So the monument dedicated to goddess Ganga, it was carved 7th century, and the carving on the depict the story of the river Ganga, situated adjacent to the Arjun Pinance, and King Narsingvarman first the port of the Mamalpuram, also known as the Mahabalipuram. The meaning Mamal is great warrior. The meaning is great warrior, and that is about the Mahabalipuram. That is descent of Ganga. Descent of Ganga, and it is in Tamil Nadu. Now next, which is the following passes connect the Sikkim to China? That is the Nathula Pass. Nathula Pass connect the Sikkim into the China. So that was a Depsa Pass is mountain pass between the Spiti Kullu in Himachal Pradesh, Mana Pass that was in China, Himachal Pradesh, and Barlapcha Pass that was Ladakh and Lahul, which is not a biosphere reserve. That is Dachi Gram is not Achar Kamar, Agastyamalai Nakrik, but Dachi Gram is not a biosphere reserve. So it is a national park that is in the Jammu and Kashmir. Dachi Gram is a national park, but Achar Kamar is biosphere reserve that was in Madhya Pradesh. Agastya Mallai that is in Tamil Nadu, Kerala. Nagraj in Meghalaya, and national park are place which protect all the species in it, and a wildlife sanctuary is a place which protect the certain species type of the species like bird, hippo, and a tiger. In which of the following largest basaltic meteor impact the crater located that is in Maharashtra? So, world largest basaltic meteor Buldana district, Maharashtra, Lonar crater lake that was 6,000 year ago. 6,000 year ago, and that the mean the diameter of the 1.2 monitor lizard and lake was mentioned in the ancient sculpture text in Ain Akbari. Now next one is Victoria Memorial. Victoria Memorial was constructed which of the following materials? So that is white Makrana and marble, and that was known as the Victoria marble. And the Victoria Memorial is located at Bangalore, Hooghly, West Bengal. It is dedicated to Queen of the Victoria. And white Makrana marble, Hooghly is a distributor of the river Ganga, and the Taj Mahal that was the Charminar, and the Hyderabad is built of the bank of river Musi. And now that was the Meenakshi temple, Madurai located bank of the Vaigai. So Meenakshi temple, and that is known as the bank of the Vaigai river. Masinram, that was the world highest rainfall. So Masinram was the East Khasi, and that was the highest rainfall reported. The wettest place, the 4 star, the solid surface that formed the water vapor in the above freezing atmosphere come in contact with solid surface. As a water vapor reaches to the freezing point, that is reaching to the freezing point. Okay, so that is about the it is the snowiest place of the earth and all-time highest temperature, and that was Greenland and depth of the valley. Now next one is the Statue of Unity in Gujarat. It was Statue of Unity of the Gujarat, and it was the Statue of Unity, and that was in the Sadhu bed. Okay, that is in the Sadhu bed. So Statue of the Unity was dedicated to the iron constructed Sadhu bed. Sardar Patel is credited with uniting the 560 princes is Princely state, and the date of the inauguration of the statue also marked the 143rd anniversary of Sardar Patel. It was 143rd anniversary of the Sardar Patel. Located Sadhu Pet, tallest. It is one of the tallest, and China Spring Temple. Other than the China Spring Temple of the Buddha statue, almost double height, and the viewing like Statue of Unity is almost double height of the China Statue of Liberty. So that was in USA, and China's Spring Temple Buddhist statue, and almost double the height of the Statue of Liberty that is in USA. Viewing gallery of the statue at the 153 200 people at the time and meter, and offer an expansive view of the Sardar Sarovar Dam. There is a Sardar Sarovar Dam, and innermost layer made of the reinforced cement concrete comprising of the 127-meter height, and that is still statue. The second layer is the steel structure. It was built within the including the 300 engineering infra, and the Statue of Unity was designed by the Padma Bhushan. It was designed by the Padma Bhushan and received Ram V. Sutar and intrinsic bronze cladding. So that is all about this. Now next one is the Belgaum airport located that is in Karnataka. So this airport is Belgaum, and that was airport is spread 440 acre. So Kerala, Thiruvananthapuram, Odisha, Bhubaneswar, Maharashtra, Mumbai, and CM of the Kerala, that is Pinnarai Vijayan, Odisha, that is Mohan Charan Manji, and the Maharashtra, that was Eknath Shinde, and Karnataka, that was the Siddharamaiah. Now next is the first crude oil refinery was set up by, that was Digboi. First crude oil refinery, that was the Tinsukia district of Assam, oil city, and that is oldest refinery of the entire Asia. Digboi is the laying railway line. Process of the digging oil, that was process of the digging of the oil. In which of the following Chandipur located, that is in the Odisha. Chandipur located in the Odisha. Odisha was a beach about the 1600 Balasore, and that is renowned as one of the world unusual beach. The Chandipur was global popularity of the Vanishing Sea, and Chandipur was a wide range of the biodiversity. And apart from this, fish species, the rare horse and tiny crabs are also there. Who established the Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College? That was Syed Ahmad Khan, and that was 1875. It was a Muslim university. It was the become as a professor. Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College became a Aligarh Muslim University, and it has three off-campus centers in the Mamalpuram and the Murshidabad and Kishanganj. Sir Syed Ahmad Taqvi Syed Muhammad Mutaki was the Islamic reformer and the philosopher of the 19th century. Next was 21st. Syed Muhammad Sadullah was the Prime Minister of Assam. Syed Muhammad Sadullah was born in the 21 May of 1885. Dadabhai Naoroji was an Indian scholar, trader, that was politician who was a liberal. Muhammad Ali Jinnah was the Pakistan first Governor General. He was the barrister, politician, and the founder in Pakistan. Muhammad Ali Jinnah was the Pakistan first Governor General. He was a barrister, politician, and the founder of Pakistan. He was reversed in Pakistan as a Quaid-e-Azam and the Baba Kulam. Salem steel plant is located, that is in Tamil Nadu. So Bhilai, that was in Sale, Bhilai, Chhattisgarh. Bokaro steel, that was in Jharkhand, and Dungarpur, that was in the Dungarpur, West Bengal. Rourkela steel plant, that was Rourkela, Odisha. Ezar, that was in Gujarat, and Jindal, that was in Chhattisgarh. Bokaro steel, that was in Jharkhand. Bhilai, that was in Chhattisgarh. Now India's Statue of Unity, it was in Gujarat, 8th wonder of the SCO Shanghai Cooperation. So Statue of the Unity has become the part of 8th wonder, and that was the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Statue of Unity is a statue of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, first Home Minister, and that was in Gujarat. The statue was inaugurated on the 143 birth anniversary of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. So India में है Statue of Unity, and इंडिया में है स्टेचू ऑफ यूनिटी, एंड कजाकिस्तान में द आर्कोलॉजिकल लैंडस्केप ऑफ तामगल्ले, एंड दैट वाज इन SCO 8 वंडर बोल सकते हैं. चाइना में द डैमिंग इम्पेरिकल पैलेस, किर्गिस्तान में है लेक कुल, पाकिस्तान में द ग्रेट मुगल हेरिटेज एट लाहौर, रशिया में गोल्डन रिंग ऑफ सिटी, ताजिकिस्तान में प्लेस ऑफ नौरोज इन द ताजिकिस्तान, एंड उज्बेकिस्तान द पोई केलोन complex, and that is in Uzbekistan. Next, the sliding fiction, then the static fiction, that is smaller. So sliding fiction is smaller than the striking fiction. So that was a fiction force is kind resisting force that act between the two contact body. It is known as the close interaction of the charged particle, and that is opposite motion. Mathematically, the friction is mu into n is normal force, m into g. A normal force, it is a force that is exerted by surface and perpendicular to the body. It is a component of the contact. Now static friction acts as a object where they are resisting. It must always be overcome to start a body moving. Sliding friction term refers to the resistance created by two objects. Rolling friction is a friction that acts as an object Rolling friction is much weaker than sliding. Now next one is the sliding friction is less or smaller than static friction. When the object starts sliding, the contact point on its surface do not get enough time to lock into the contact point, so the sliding friction is slightly less than the static. Okay, now next one is Kelvin is a unit of that was temperature. Kelvin is one of the SI base unit defined as a friction and thermodynamics temperature of the triple point of the water. Now next, for which of the following game player must have a knowledge of the Pascal's law, that was scuba diving. So the gravity of the pressure at every point liquid equilibrium and the increase in pressure at one point of the enclosed liquid equilibrium of the rest transmitted equally to all other points, and Pascal principle states that pressure applied the fluid is equally transmitted in all directions to all parts of the fluid and to all parts of the container. Scuba diving must also understand this principle. At a depth of 10 meters underwater, the pressure is twice the atmosphere pressure. So now next one is Pascal principle is the pressure applied to the fluid is equally transmitted in all direction to all parts of the fluid and to all parts of the container. Scuba diving. So scuba divers are must be understand about the depth of 10 meter underwater and pressure is twice the atmospheric pressure. That therefore this is correct. Next is the strength of force is usually expressed by that is magnitude. A force can be larger or smaller. The strength of force expressed by the magnitude. The magnitude of a force expressed by the Newton's force, which can be as a object 1 kilogram. The direction in which a force acts is also known if the magnitude direction of the applied force changes. Now, if the force applied on the object it is direction opposite to the direction of motion, that decreases speed of the object will decreases. So it is defined as a push and pull which is required to the object. The work equals to force into displacement. If the direction of applied force and direction in which object moves perpendicular, work is done only when the certain force is applied moves a certain distance in the direction of the applied force. Now next one is the bending of the light when it passes around the corner of the sill, that was diffraction. The bending of the light when it passes around the corner of the sill is due to the diffraction. In classical physics, the diffraction phenomena is described as the interference of the wave. So, what is diffraction? That is the interference of the waves. It is known as a diffraction. Diffraction is the interference of the wave. When a ball is thrown vertically upward, which of the following quantity remains constant? That is, energy is always constant. Energy is always constant. Energy is always constant. The capacity of the work is called energy. According to the energy observation principle, total energy of the system always remain constant. Kinetic energy, the energy of the body due to the motion, called the kinetic energy. Potential energy, the energy of the body due to the position, called the potential energy. And the total energy is sum total of the kinetic and potential energy. So kinetic energy is the due to the motion. So if there is some motion, that means it is kinetic energy. Potential is energy is due to the position. If some position are there, if some position are there, that means the potential. When the ball is thrown vertically upward, kinetic energy of the ball converted into potential, and the kinetic energy that will convert into the potential energy. So kinetic energy that will convert into the potential energy, and that is known as the total energy of the ball remains the same. It is because of the beginning of the ball has his high kinetic, no potential, and converted to the potential at the peak. Kinetic energy is nil and in all the higher potential. From now, the potential energy begins to convert into kinetic as a ball goes into the upward direction and velocity changes. So velocity changes, the kinetic energy also changes. When the velocity changes, so the kinetic energy also changes. Okay, so next one is the formula of the average velocity, that is u plus v upon 2. So u equals to, that is initial velocity. U is the initial velocity and V is the final. So formula of the initial velocity: in the formula, average velocity is u plus v by 2, and u is represent the initial, and the u typically denotes the velocity of an object. Initial velocity refers to the velocity of the beginning of the motion. It is important to distinguish between the initial and final velocity analyzing the motion of the object. Next is, which of the following pair incorrect? So light year, that is time. So incorrect बताना है. Light year, that is time, that is not true. Parasite, that is distance. Barrel, that is liquid. But light year, that was time. So that is incorrect. Light year is not the time. Parasite distance, and barrel, that is the liquid. Okay, so the parasite, it is a unit of the distance used in the astronomy, equivalent to the 3.26 approximately. And parasite is for the distance, and barrel, that is for the liquid, commonly used for the measuring of the oil. Now, light year, that is for the time, not time. It represents a distance that is light travel in the 1 year. Now, if the force applied on the object in the direction of its motion, that is known the increase. So, if the force applied on the object, it is in the direction of the motion, that is increase according to the Newton's second law. If the force is applied in the object in the same direction, that is produces the acceleration, increases the speed. The impression of image passes on the retina, so that is 1/6 16 सेकेंड में आपको ये दिख जाती है. So this is the feature called the persistence of the vision, due to when the many still images are shown. The persistence of vision is capacity of eye to maintain the image in the retina, that is maintain the image in the retina, and it was due to the prolonged chemical reaction. As a result of cannot be clearly distinguished, whether changes go unnoticed or they appear one continuous picture. If successive images are quickly enough, then single continuous moving image, animation and motion picture is also there. Okay, so use the persistence of vision to create an illusion of movement in still image that capture the progress of the motion. Which phenomena show the particle nature of the light? That is the photoelectrical effect, that is known as the photoelectric and effect. Photoelectric effect is known as the particle of nature of the light, particle and nature of the light, and that is also known as a photoelectrical effect. So photoelectric effect, the phenomena which is the light energy, and that is when the light hits it, show the particle theory, and light is defined as a stream of the energy packets. So that is interference, diffraction, polarization, explain when the light is treated as a wave, and the photoelectrical effect like a spectra and the production is scattering. From the above discussion, the photoelectrical effect was shown the particle nature of the light. Which of the following is the bad thermal conductor? That was glass is the bad thermal conductor. Okay, so glass is a passage of the, therefore insular, not just heat but the electricity. The thermal conductivity of the glass, that is 0.8 work per mk, and that is other example is the rubber, wood and wax for the thermal insulator. So that thermal conductivity of the material is measured in the ability of conduct the heat. Heat transfer at the lower rate in the material, low thermal conductivity than the material, higher thermal conductivity. It is generally denote the K, and the lambda K is also there. So the reciprocal of this quantity are known for the thermal resistivity. The thermal conductivity of aluminum 205, and the thermal conductivity of copper 8385, and the thermal conductivity of silver 429 highest. An image of the formed in a plane mirror that cannot be obtained the screen, that is a virtual image. So virtual image cannot be obtained in the real will there, inverted yes, erect will, but virtual is not in the mirror. Okay, that is cannot be obtained on the screen. So virtual image is a which formed by the apparent diverged light's ray as a point rather than the actual divergence. It is apparent divergence. It is apparent divergence rather than actual divergence. So such a image cannot be projected on the screen because of the light ray do not actually converged image formed by the mirror, and that was a real image viewed in the screen convergence. Alternatively, one may also view the real image, and that is the real image collection of the focus point actually made the converging the rays, while the virtual image is collection of the focus points. Okay, now next one is international agreement on the Montreal Protocol. So that protocol is for the ozone layer. Okay, so the key of international agreement on the ozone layer, that is related to the substance of the deplete of the ozone layers, and it is international treaty designed to ozone layer from the chlorofluorocarbon. 1987 it came into force, and the 16th September as is known as a World Ozone Day and preservation of the ozone layer. Okay, now the Ramsar Convention for the wetland, that was international convention, first modern treaty, and the signing of the convention 1971. Presently 75 Ramsar sites are there in 2022. Okay, and the Chilika Lake, that is known as the first Ramsar site, and five new wetlands of the international importance has designed, and that are particularly five that are now country Ramsar sites increased 75, and the Union Minister Environment Bhupendra Yadav delighted to inform that five more Indian wetlands have been Ramsar recognition, and the five newly designed wetlands are the Karkili Bird Sanctuary, that is Tamil Nadu, Pallikaran Marshes Reserve Forest, that is Tamil Nadu, Pichavaran Mangrove, that was Tamil Nadu, Pala Wetland, that is Mizoram, and the Sakya Sagar, that was Madhya Pradesh. Palikarani Marshing Reserve, that was Forest, Tamil Nadu, Pichavaran Mangrove, Tamil Nadu, and that was Pala Wetland, that was Mizoram, and the Sakya Sagar, that was Madhya Pradesh. So Karikalli, that was Tamil Nadu, Pallikaranai, that was Marsh Forest of Tamil Nadu, Pichavaram Mangrove, that was Tamil Nadu, and Pala Wetland, that was Mizoram, and Sakya Sagar, that was Madhya Pradesh. UNESCO World Heritage Site was a historical and Galapagos Island of the Kyoto First Heritage, and now Ajanta Cave, Ellora, Agra Fort, Taj Mahal were the first World Heritage Site. India is a 75 Ramsar site, that was known as the new 11 one. What is the percentage of the nitrogen in the atmosphere? That is 78.08%, and the remaining 1% of various gases are there, and oxygen is 21%. Nitrogen presence atmosphere is crucial for the biological ecological balance, and nitrogen is for the nitrogenous fixation, human animal nutrition, nitrogen cycle, and fertilizer production. It is nitrogen is an inert gas and does not readily participated, but it conversion into the more reactive nitrofixing bacteria, and that is the nitrogen fixation plants, nitrogen cycle, and fertilizer. Nitrogen cycle play a vital role in maintaining the balance of nitrogen ecosystem. The following hospital waste consider the hazardous, that is the toxic material. Okay, so the hazardous waste is a waste that has a substantial or potential threat to the public health And hazardous waste are the material that is tested to exhibit one or more following hazardous, that is ingestibility and the corrosibility. And that is the biochemical waste. Medical waste is the healthcare facility and the similar institutions such as the hospital is considered the hazardous for toxic. So there is special waste disposal, that is the product. Now hazardous waste are the hazardous waste in the waste that is potential threat to the public health, and hazardous waste are the material that are known as the tested as exhibit one of the hazardous state, that is ignitability, corrosivity, reactivity and toxicity. The death of the which bird resulted in the implementation of bird diverters, that is the Great Indian Bustard. Great Indian Bustard. So that was Great Indian Bustard was a scientist named the Great Indian Bustard Ardentatis nigerricep. Critically, it is a critically endangered, and that was the Wildlife Protection Act. Great Indian Bustard, that is state bird of the Rajasthan, and it was white-bellied heron, known as the empirical heron, and that we can found this Himalayan northeastern Bangladesh. Forest owl, that was the forest of certain, it is known as IUCN endangered, and that is known as the forest owl, and that is endangered in IUCN list. And the Indian vulture, that is known the Gyps indices, is the world vulture native in India, Pakistan, critically endangered. Vulture is also critically endangered, and the owl is forest owl, that is endangered only, okay. And the kidney failure is caused diclofenac poisoning. It's a breed mainly hill crag in the central, and it's breed mainly the hill crags in the central peninsula India. The most significant source of air pollution, that is automobile exhaust and chemical industry. So the air pollution, presence of substance atmosphere harmful for the health. This substance contribute to the air pollution. There's many different types of the air pollutants, and explanation: automobile industry is emit a large number of the pollution and dust particle, ozone and the sulfur oxide, nitrogen oxide, carbon dioxide is not considered in the air quantity monitoring measures, but air pollutions are the cause of respiratory disease and the skin allergy. Which is the best keeping in the environment of scene, that was the green energy. The green energy was referred to the renewable energy, and that was green energy include the solar, hydro, biomass, renewable energy that are the minimal environment impact, produce the electricity and the green emitting the greenhouse gas without emitting greenhouse. So this was the energy is a both wind energy and other was a green energy such as solar, hydropower and the biomass considered environment friendly, while energy is considered the form of the green energy and renewable, and the wind energy is harnessed the kinetic energy. Okay, now next one is the wind energy, and green energy is energy such as the solar, hydro and biomass. Wind energy is harness the kinetic energy and generate the electricity, while the green energy was renewable energy, and the green energy is the refer to the renewable energy. Green energy include the solar, hydropower, biomass and their environment impact compared to the fossil fuel. Solar energy was divided from the sunlight, also clean and renewable energy. Solar panels are converted sunlight into the electricity, and that was the wind energy was generated from the movement of the air mass is another clean and renewable energy. Wind turbine convert the energy into this greenhouse gas. These are renewable energy, crucial role in the reducing the carbon emission, mitigation climate change and promoting the sustainability. Which of the following represent the correct food chain? That was the glass and the insect, frog and snake and eagle. So that was a sequence of the living organism, and this is organism is who eats whom. So that was the eagle, snake, frog and the grass last will be there. This is trophic levels, and here the grass is eaten, the insect eaten by frog eaten by the snake, and finally snake by the eagle, and complete this food chain. Now Periyar Tiger Reserve, that is in the Kerala. So Project Tiger was a well published wildlife campaign in 1973, and this youth the only effort to endanger a species and equal importance as a means of preserving the biotype. Carbate is in Uttarakhand, Bandhavgarh that is in Madhya Pradesh, and Sariska that is in the Rajasthan, Manas that is Assam, and the Periyar that is in the Kerala. The study of the soil that is pedagogy, and pedagogy ICAR is classified the alluvian, black, red, laterite, mountainous, arid and alkaline soil. Ecology is a branch of the science that is deal with the relationship of living and non-living physical environment, community of the organism and their physical environment. Biotic is the living like producer, consumer, decomposer, abiotic air, water, soil and sunlight. Food chain is a there, and that is linear sequence of the organism. Producer that are the own producer include the autotroph, and they are known as the autotrophs, and they are produce the food. Primary consumer depend upon the rate, and secondary was depend upon primary consumer for the energy, and that is example snake. Tertiary is depend on the secondary consumer, that is the eagle. Okay, so this is the paleontology, that was scientific study of the life when ever exist before. Paleontology include the study of fossil, and fossil are the remain the plants, animal, fungi, bacteria, and the single called the rock material impression of the organism. And paleontology lies the geology. Now paleontology, that is the geology and biology. Paleontology has specified division of the following: invertebrate paleontology, vertebrate, and the paleontology. And the evidence of evolution and living fossil and the fossil are important for the paleontology. Geology, study of the earth and material, the structure to the material, includes study of organism and atmosphere. For the geology is the study of the earth material. When did the wildlife project start? That was in on April 1973. Ensuring population protection and the preserving the biological diversity, one of the most successful conservation program for the single species in the entire world. So this is known the India has a 55 protected designs for and 78,000 square kilometer, 2.30% of geographical area. First tiger reserve in India was a Jim Corbett. Jim Corbett was the first tiger reserve in the that was in Uttarakhand. Which of the following abiotic factor affects this? Young plants, air, water, heat, and light. So that topography is also lay the land and include the physical features like terrain, slope, mountain range. Soil is also outermost layer. Climatic factor, humidity level are the important for loving these plants. Aeration, plants are grow and survive balanced environment. Light is also plant growth, and temperature influences the most of the plant. Which is the following indicate the total dissolved solid, that is serious for the health hazard, serious for the health hazards. Okay, so this is the serious hazard for the total dissolved solid, and it was drinking it was in the secondary drinking water standard, and there is a regulated because aesthetics rather than a health hazard. So as a elevated TDS indicate the following: the concentration of dissolved ions like corrosive, salty, and brackish test, and elevated level of the ions. So TDS is there is a cations and positively charged ions, and anions that is negatively charged ions. And common inorganic salt that can be found in the water include the calcium, magnesium, potassium, which is the cations, and anions are also. Which of the following type of the species animal is correct? That is the extinct species pink-headed duck, and the endangered, that is black bug. That is not true. Endangered is not the black bug. So the black bug is known as the Indian antelope. It's an antelope native to the India and the Nepal, and inhabited the grassy plain and the lightly forested area. The IUCN, that was the least concern as a black bug, that was the least concern. Black bug is the least concern. In the 1972 Wildlife Protection Act, pink-headed duck is last driving one of the part of the Gangetic Plain. So IUCN is working as an NGO working in the field of nature conservation. Headquarter that is in Gland and Switzerland. And there is a red list also. Okay, it is presented the red list. So black bug in least concern. but pink-headed, that is extinct now. So there is a low risk, threatened, vulnerable, endangered, critically endangered, and extinct is also there. And this is the list we can see here. Okay, in which of the following in India Dudwa? One second. So endangered is a high risk of extinction. Critically endangered, extremely high risk. Extinct means now not present. Vulnerable, high risk of the endangerment in wild, and endangerment in the wild, that's vulnerable. And the threatened, near threatened is likely to become the endangered. Least concern, lowest risk. Okay, now in which of the following Dudwa, that was in Uttar Pradesh. So Dudhwa is in Uttar Pradesh. Dudhwa is a national park of the Tarai belt of the marshy grassland. Uttar Dudhwa is reserve is a Kheri and Lakhimpur district. And now national park that is in Arunachal Pradesh, that is the Moling and Namdapha. So Moling, it is in Arunachal Pradesh, and the Namdapha, that is in also Arunachal Pradesh. And the Madhya Pradesh Bandhavgarh Dinosaur Fossil Park, and the Pech Kanha Kuno. Kuno is also in the Madhya Pradesh, and Madhav, Anna, Sanjay, Satpura, and Vanvihar. Himachal Pradesh, that is Great Indian Himalaya, and Indal Killa, and the Khirkanga, and the Pin Valley, and the Sherjang, and Simbalbatra. Kanchenjunga National Park, that was in Sikkim. So this is as a Dibang, and that Pakke Tiger Reserve, that was consists of the Arunachal Pradesh Dibang Wildlife Sanctuary. Himachal Pradesh have a national park like a Great Himalaya National Park, Kullu, Pin Valley, and the Spiti. Assam is one of the most famous national park, Kaziranga, and one horned rhino. That is famous for one horned rhino. The Asiatic lion is the only, that was the Gir National Park. It is in Gir National Park, not the Salim Ali. Okay, that is not Salim Ali, that is in the Gir. So Asiatic lion, it's a Panna National Park, that is Chhatrapur district of Madhya Pradesh, was declared as a tiger reserve in 1993. And Asiatic lion, that is found in the National Park of Gir. And now next is the Gir. It is located of the Junagadh districts, and it's famous for the population of the Asiatic lion. Salim Ali, that is in the Jammu Kashmir and Srinagar, and it is in the Jammu Kashmir, and Sariska, that was in Rajasthan, tiger reserve in 1978. Now, what is the UNFCCC? It is United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. So that convention was universal membership 197, and main aim was Paris Agreement, and like close the possible 1.5 degrees Celsius above the pre-industrial level. That is the above the pre-industrial level. UNFCCC is also the parent treaty of the 1997, and it is also known as the Kyoto Protocol. Kyoto Protocol. So ultimate objective of the UNFCCC is to stabilize the greenhouse gas. Stabilize the greenhouse gas. Greenhouse gas. Stabilize the greenhouse gas and no human interference. Okay, that is the time frame which allow the ecosystem to adapt the naturally enable sustainable development. Now the energy sector is larger contributor to greenhouse gas. Agriculture sector around 20. Energy sector is the largest. Agriculture sector 20%. And trap is heat in the earth atmosphere, so water vapor and carbon dioxide, methane, and ozone. Now next, recently ISRO was tested the Pushpak. What is the objective of the Pushpak? To reduce the cost of launching satellite into the orbit. To reduce the cost into satellites. So reusable launch vehicle, that is Pushpak. Pushpak is there, and that is for the technology demonstrator for critical technology, successfully tested in 2016. Cost reduction, re-entry landing, and wing body design. And the next one is, what is the CRISPR gene editing? It is a genetic engineering which is genomes of the living organism is modified. That is genetic organism. Genetic engineering. Genetic engineering is a technique for the genomes of the living. Genomes of the living organism. For the living organism is modified. Genomes of the living organism is a modified, that is known CRISPR gene. CRISPR is genetic engineering, and that was based on simplified version of CRISPR-Cas9, and it is CRISPR-Cas9, and that is delivering this into the cell. The cell genome can be the desired location, and genome is a complete set of genetic information that is known as the DNA, called the chromosomes. CRISPR is clustered regularly interfaced short palindrome repeat. This clustered short palindromic repeat. Short palindromic repeat. Short palindromic and repeats are so these repeats are particularly section in the DNA, and that is a genetic code. Okay, this genetic code is basically repetition of base sequence, and the Cas9 is an enzyme, and Cas9 is an enzyme, and it is used to the synthetic guide of the RNA to introduce a double strand break into the specific location. It is system used by the bacterial cell to recognize the viral DNA and form the adaptive immunity. Okay, so this is about, consider about the Kavach. So Kavach is a designed to prevent train from colliding, the automatically applying brakes when train overshoots threat signal. The cover system consists of only radio frequency, so that is not only word is very dangerous, and the coverage is designed to prevent the train from colliding to the, this is preventing the colliding of the train. Okay, that is the coverage system. Now next one is coverage is the train protecting system. No collision will be there, and at the red signal, it also capable of providing in-cab signaling, automatic whistling, and level crossing, real-time health monitoring. Kavach is which is named after the preventing the potential accidents. So it will prevent the accident, and Kavach system consists not only the radio frequency but also the electronic device, and there is some electronic device also apart from the radio frequency. So these are the research design standard, and that is coverage function as a safeguard to the existing signaling system work for the watchdog warning and locomotive driver for the red signal. Radio frequency identification technique and geological obstacle are there. So this will computer based system and break the interface equipment, radio and infra tower and the modem will be there, and this will implement the cost is 10-50 lakh per existing urgent needs. The consider the reverse transcription polymerase chain reaction. So this is highly specific but less sensitive compared to the other molecular diagnostic method. So that was a, this is highly specific but less sensitive compared to other molecular, that is not true. It is reverse transcription. It is technique used to detect the RNA completely and then amplifying it. So that was the technique used for the detect the RNA virus by the converting RNA into the completely DNA, and that is the amplifying detection. It is not only highly specific but highly sensitive, making it one of the most reliable method for the detecting the viruses. Now the following is indeed a technique used to detect the RNA virus by the converting RNA completely into DNA, and that was not only highly specific but also highly sensitive. So this is the initial step to the swab collection. The test was start with a swab, and that was the coronavirus RNA as their genetic material converted into the using the enzyme. Now, genetic fragment selection was the search selection was a specific stable genome creature primer, and primer small that was bind by the DNA sequencing. Now, the term of the LVM-3 that was known as the ISRO launching vehicle. It is ISRO's launching vehicle, and that is known as LVMN3. So it is a ISRO's launching vehicle and heaviest rocket in the long awaited ensure the greater participation. LVM third is the three-stage ISRO, and it is the heaviest and the most powerful rocket. India is a build for the LVM-3, and that was vehicle can carry out the 8 tonnage payload. But when it comes to the geostationary transfer orbit, it can be carry much less. This, however, does not mean the LVM is a weak, but compared to the rocket used by the other, and that was the LVM liquid stage of C-25 cryogenic C-25, and that was low Earth orbit, and it is geostationary transfer orbit, and C-25 cryogenic stage. Recently, R-21 vaccine was that was in malaria. So R21, that was Serum Institute, and significant for the first R21 matrix malaria. It is for the matrix and malaria. So that was developed by the Oxford, and it was the vaccine approved to use the children of 5 to 36 age, and 80% successful clinical trial conducted Burkina Faso, and that was the African country, and Ghana became the first country to approve this vaccine. The following India's space technology: Rumi 1. Rumi 1 is India's first reusable hybrid rocket. It is hot, mummy, reusable hybrid rocket developed by the Tamil Nadu with startup. India collaboration with this launched the Thiruvananthapuram payload and satellite information. That cube satellite, that was 3 cube satellite. Pico satellite, 50 Pico satellites data collection. Satellite will be collected data and warning and climate change. Now hybrid Rumi was what? Rumi is a hybrid rocket engine, uses combination of solid and the liquid propellants. Okay, so that was the Rumi. It is reusable, and that is 65% cost will be cheaper. We reduce the space debris, increase the launching frequency also. Now consider about the Venus orbiter mission. It is one of the interplanetary mission after the Mars. The mission aimed to the land the surface Venus to conduct experiment. Mission used the aerobraking lower orbiter altitude and the conducting the scientific experiments. So this mission is aimed to the Venus to the conduct. So it is Venus orbiter mission conduct the experiment. So that is not true actually. Venus orbiter is India's second interplanetary mission, and it will design to study the Venus. It will design to study the Venus orbit and will not attempt to land on surface. Okay, so that is not true. The mission will be used the aerobraking and reduce the orbital altitude conducting scientific experiment. The Venus orbital mission, also known as the Sukrayaan, it is one of the important mission, and the primary goal is include the studying the substances, analyzing the process of atmosphere, and understanding the transformation of the Venus, which is believed to have a habitable, and synthesis aperture radar for the surface imaging, thermal cameras, instrument designed to analyze the atmospheric composition. So that is about the Venus mission. And mission detail: spacecraft will utilize a technique called the aerobraking and altitude of the conducting scientific experiments. Now next one is, consider the following about the Gaganyaan mission, humanoid mission. It is a humanoid mission, and that was designed for the ISRO. 1 minute. Now Gaganyaan mission, so that was a humanoid skull design developed by the ISRO, an inertial system unit of Thiruvananthapuram. The skull weight 800 gram and the measure the 200 into 220 mm. It is made from a high strength aluminum alloy to withstand the pressure and vibration. So that was true. So that was a humanoid mission, that is true. In the inertial system of unit, the skull weighted the 800 gram, and now the skull is constructed from the high strength aluminum alloy to endure the pressure, vibration, and the experience. The Vyomitra is the combination of the Sanskrit word of the Vyoma and the Mitra, female robot designed to develop the ISRO for the unmanned test and the ahead for the Gaganyaan mission. So that was referred the human robot doesn't lack. En route the Gaganyaan mission, she was accompanying the astronauts on main mission. AI-enabled robot which can be withstand vibration, and during this flight has been designed to resemble a human with facial expression. It equipped with a capability to monitor the module and issue the alerts. It can be perform the task as a operating the serving as a comparison and astronaut engaging in the conversation. Now the CAR T cell, so it is a form as immunotherapy. Uses the person for the immune system. T cell is for the cancer cell. That is also known as the cancer cell. It is the therapy have approved the primarily for the various type of the blood cancer, and that is for the blood cancers. Okay, so this is about the revolutionary therapy for modifying immune cell for T cell by the turning into the patent cancer. It is known as the immunotherapy used for the person immune system, and T cell was cancer. Now that was therapy have been approved by the primarily for the various blood cancers. So special cell, that is blood cells, and that find and fight illness and infection, and meaning of the kill the cell other cell, that is known as a T cell. T cell have a receptor protein on their surface. T cell are genetically modified by the fitting with new receptor, that is chimeric antigen, known as a chimeric and antigen, chimeric antigen receptor. These receptors are a new cell. So chimeric antigen receptor is typically means a mixture of the modified perform both helper cell and the killer cell is also there. So that was the modified by the food flood the system, enabling the body immune system to fight off the cancer cell feat previously unachievable due to the cancer. And there was a blood cell are the extract by the machine, and the next car 19 manufacturing to optimal dose for the patient. And now there was the T cell, so that express chimeric antigen receptor and the connection that target to the protein, that was B cell cancer. Okay, so now next one, which is the following not referred as this cryogenic material. Butane is not. So cryogenic is a cryogenic liquid is defined by National Institute for the Standards and Technology. It was liquid organ, liquid helium, liquid hydrogen, liquid oxygen. Definition does not include the liquid propane and liquid butane, but is a word originate from the Greek word that was the means of frost and Janus. Liquid helium, liquid hydrogen, liquid oxygen, and the addition to the hazard, that means liquid nitrogen. Liquid organ do not. Liquid nitrogen is the most frequently used, and liquid cryogens have a extremely low temperature. Cryogens are the stored in confined containers such as a pressurized cylinder. Okay, now next one is consider the following about the deep fake. Deep fake is primarily creating using simple video without the need of the artificial intelligence. That is not true. Deepfake utilizes generating adversarial network and it produces a realistic image. That is true. So deepfake is a response to the Election Commission of India's direction for the political party to not share such content on the social media if they comes to know the such content to be down within the hours and to warn the person. So deepfake is a synthetic media that have been digitally manipulated to replace one person likeness convincingly with that of another. This is created using the deep learning of the branches of artificial and intelligence and amounts of the neural network with large amount of data performs image recognition, language, and deepfake can be used for various purposes like entertainment, political propaganda, misinformation, and cybercrime. So for example, deepfake can use to the create a realistic video, and that can be creating the realistic video, but this did not said they can be used for the generate fake voice, and fake voice can be generated, fake face and body movement, and singers. So that was a deep fake rely on the sophisticated AI technique, not merely simple video editing, but they deep learning of technology to analyze the generate the human life and the accurately, and involve the two part, a generate that create the image of video and the discriminator. Now next is the BPL regimen, that is a multi drug resistance tuberculosis. BPL is a India's BPL regiment are the bedaquiline and the petamonide and linezolid, that is the multi drug resistance, extremely drug resistant tuberculosis, and that was reduced the treatment. The BPL regime is reduce the treatment time for around 6 months. Cost reduction, the ability of the genetic reduce this BPL regime is making more accessible, improve the treatment regime and expected to the longer. So the simplified medications, WHO recommendation, World Health Organization was a 6 month BPL regime as a efficient treatment of the economical benefit For this, TB is a more effective, less burdensome, cheaper for both health system and consider about the feature of the NISAR satellite. So S-band payload has been made by the US L-band. That is not true. It is a completely mapped Earth 14 to 15 days and capable of monitoring vegetation. The S-band payload has been made up of the US band and L-band by ISRO. That is not true. So NISAR is a collaboration with the NASA and the ISRO, and the NASA and ISRO synthetic aperture radar mission is joint project between the NASA co-developed launch to the dual frequency. Now this launched in 2024, and it is a poised for facilitated exploration. And that was it contain the major water body accurately. It is in look into the water stressing Earth can ground penetrate the certain depth. It capable of monitoring the vegetations and snow. Therefore, they basically look at the whole of the earth terms and the surface and water and greenery. So that is about the NISAR. So this is NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory is also there. And NISAR radar satellite mission will provide in-depth insight into the crucial ecosystem. Forest wetland will play a role for the naturally regulating the greenhouse gases. And the radar technologies provide the comprehensive view of the planet, and NISAR will provide the comprehensive planet study. Okay, so ISRO and the L-band by the US. So S-band launched by the ISRO, and the L-band that is from the USA. Okay, so this is about now the regenerative braking.